Connecting to the Methernet. Methernet now connected.
This is the Wally and Methot Show live. Now, here are your hosts, Brent Wallace and Mark Methot.
Hello, everybody. Season's greetings. Hope you had a happy holiday. I'm Brent Wallace. He's Mark Methot. This show is always brought to you by sportsinteraction.com. Go to sportsinteraction.com/Wally Methot and get in on the best odds around. They are Canada's online casino and sportsbook, and you can do full betting on all the World Junior stuff, by the way, going on right now. Canada coming into the Austria game tomorrow. The over-under, by the way, Meth, 9.5. So they're expecting lots of goals to be scored, perhaps, in that game. Yeah. Also coming up in the show, we have Igor Sokolov. That's right. Sharkolov is here. He's going to chat to us about his World Junior experience, all that stuff. Plus, we'll get an update just on how his Christmas went, what it's like to be in Belleville and away from your family at Christmas time. Also, lots of other things going on. Meth, how was your Christmas?
It was good. Really relaxed. We had my in-laws over and my parents, my brother and his my sister-in-law, and I cooked the turkey and hosted this year again. I feel like we're hosting a lot more than we should be. So I didn't really get a chance to actually enjoy it as much as maybe I'd like to, but next year we'll pawn it over to my brother. So other than that, it was a success. Everything worked out well.
I would assume you would have had like the butler come and carve up the turkey.
No, I love to cook. Like that's what I do. So it's all good. What about you guys? Was Lisa baking up a storm or what?
She can cook. So yeah, she did Christmas Eve dinner and stuff. So it was a seafood medley of stuff. So I just picked my way through it.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's like, is this lobster? I'm just going to put it over here.
So you didn't do like a turkey or a ham or a roast or anything?
On Christmas Eve, it's always this different kind of something different. We make something different every year. On Christmas Day, there's always a turkey or ham at her in-laws that they have, but we didn't have that this year. So anyway, nice. No turkey dinner, but I'm okay with that. You know what? It doesn't have to be turkey. It probably wouldn't be cooked properly.
Well, Lisa could cook it. I'm sure I know she's terrific because you guys, I never said this on the last show. You brought me a beautiful bottle of wine and a little box of baked goods that I know Lisa made. And Wally, it lasted like 3 days in my house. It was insane. She is so good. So you're very fortunate.
Yeah, they're pretty good. All right, let's just move on, shall we? By the way, follow along in the chat. Meth, we're going to see if we can get him to type in some words occasionally on the keyboard.
Sure.
Also, like and subscribe as we get going here. We're trying to quickly build this up to 10,000 subscribers we can. I don't know why that's a goal, but it's a goal number for me for some reason. Before we get to Igor, I just want to bring up one thing, Meth, and it's become a hot button topic. There's lots of topics going on right now, but one of them is the Women's U18 World Championships being canceled by the IIHF for the second year in a row. There is, by the way, a petition going on right now, if you want to sign it, at change.org to see if they can get the IIHF to reconsider. I think that's a long shot by any stretch of the imagination, but they did cancel the Women's Worlds, I thought, and they did eventually move them out to Alberta months later.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get to this now. I don't know everything that's going on, Meth, and it's easy for us to sit here and say that this is an outrage and when I don't understand all the ramifications, but I do think they should have just said, we are going to postpone it until we can find a place that can hold this, that everybody's safe and all that, as opposed to just outright canceling it.
Yeah, and you know me, Wally. I don't like to bitch and complain about stuff just for the sake of it. You know, typically I don't say a whole lot when it comes to that kind of stuff. And in this case, though, it really hits because this is the second year in a row. And I understand economics is a huge factor. You know, it's got to generate a lot of money and perhaps it wasn't generating a ton. But it's not fair, you know, and I was saying this in that tweet that I had posted when I mentioned that, you know, I'd love to know that if and when my daughter's playing, assuming she got to that level, I'd like to think she would have the same opportunity as the boys. So I understand that we can sit here, and you mentioned it, Wally, we can complain about it all we want. There's a lot at stake. And I think Gord Miller kind of touched on it a little bit too. He had a nice little thread talking about the money involved, and there's a lot more at stake than just, you know, what we were talking about on the surface. So I feel for them. We're here to support them, and we're going to keep pushing for some change here, and hopefully they'll get an opportunity to do this tournament at some point.
And there's lots of stuff that's been canceled of late. I think it's now 6 or 7 IIHF tournaments, which includes the Spengler Cup. And there was actually teams there ready to play.
Yeah.
There was one that ended up with 18 cases the day before, which is the host Davos, and one team that didn't actually end up going. But as we know,
Bobby had to come back. Bobby had to fly back home. He didn't even do anything.
Yeah, which is miserable, right? Because you miss your Christmas with arguably the best time when you have young kids and they understand what Santa's all about, and it's that Christmas morning. So if you haven't seen the video, go check his Twitter account out with his daughter who shows her paper cut finger. It's outstanding. Have you seen it, Matt?
Yeah, I did. It was cute. Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right. Without further ado, I would like to bring in our good friend, Igor Soglov, brought to you by whitewaterbeer.ca.
There
Still time to that's right. Still time to get some before we head into the new year. Shop whitewater.ca. Fill up on Farmer's Daughter or whatever else that is. Makes your taste buds quenched. I don't know what that means. Anyway, maybe I've had a couple. Igor,
drink Whitewater. It's good beer.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys. Happy to be back.
So what did you do for Christmas?
Well, I got the COVID, so I was stuck in my house for last 10 days now. My last day in quarantine right now, and yeah, I had a pretty good plan set up for Christmas, but it always, nothing goes my way, I guess, in this life. So yeah, I had to be by myself in the house for in the last 10 days.
So how were the symptoms?
Really?
Were they bad or what?
The only problem I had was the first day, and I think I was just mentally so out of it because we went on the road trip in the US and we only played 2 games in 9 days on the road trip.
Oh boy.
All other days we were stuck in a hotel. We couldn't do anything because we got the first positives there, and then they wouldn't let us do anything. So
yeah.
And then we come back home in Belleville and they tell us you're probably gonna have to all isolate, and nobody's gonna be allowed to go to home and spend home in the Christmas at home, and I was just like rattled, I guess. And next day my test came back positive, and I think altogether I just got hit, so I couldn't move. Like my body just felt like no energy, no muscles on body. I tried to go walk upstairs to my room, and like my knees start hurting, my legs start hurting. But I think it was just altogether my body was just, I was mentally just down as well. And COVID hit it like that when you're down, and next day after that I was fine, and since then I haven't had anything else.
By the way, I am disappointed you didn't use a flow water when you were taking your sip of your iced coffee. I thought for sure it would have been full of flow water around the house.
Hey, I'm out of it. I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have any left anymore.
So how long did it take to start feeling better? And I think there's, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, I think 18 members of the team or the organization with Belleville have tested positive. Has it just been like an ongoing conversation? Everybody's talking over text about how they all feel? Yeah.
I've been FaceTiming a lot, and most of the guys, it was day number 1, day number 2, and after that everybody was mostly fine, I believe. So, which is good. You don't want to anybody feel shitty and stuff, and health is really important. And I think most of the guys just had first and second day kind of just feeling really weak and headache and stuff like that, but nothing too complicated, which is good. Yeah, we got probably around 20 cases in the team, and it spread just like that. Like in no time, we went from 3 cases to 9 to 16, and 16 to 20 in spread of 4 days.
Wow.
I don't want to talk much about COVID. You guys, if I'm not mistaken, haven't played since like December 12th or somewhere in there. Like it's been a while since you've been on the ice, right? That's
so
crazy.
Yeah, we're supposed to go on the road trip in the US to Hartford to Providence to Bridgeport to Lehigh to Syracuse, and Syracuse back to Belleville and play at home. So they canceled the first game against Hartford because they were shut down. And then we went to Providence, so we played them. And the next day after, apparently the next day after, Scott Sabrin fought the guy on their team, and he tested positive for COVID the next day. Well, basically that morning, his test came back the next morning, and he was playing the game with COVID, and Scott Sabrin fought him. And after that, we went to Bridgeport, played them, and then we went to Lehigh. So it was on 12. Well, on 12th we played Bridgeport. That was the last game we played, and we were supposed to play on 15th against Lehigh. And literally on the game day, like 1 o'clock or something, I was eating my pregame, and one of the guys walks in and he just says like, "Yeah, we just pulled 3 guys out. Basically, they got COVID," and I just put my mask on, straight in my room, hide. Whatever is gonna happen, and they text us and they said the game is postponed. Then we went to Syracuse, got there, but we got our test back. We got 6 more positive, and we just took off back to Belleville, and since then we've been just in lockdown. So last game we played was on 12th, and last time I skated was 15th. It was morning skate in Lehigh.
So how much are you not looking forward to as a team to get back for that first skate?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to be around the guys again, I guess, and just be on the ice. You don't realize how much you miss it until you miss it.
Yeah. Have you guys been doing, Igor, have you been doing any exercise? Have you been doing anything to kind of keep up?
I took off first 3 days because I knew I'm not going to do any favor to myself trying to push through. My body is fighting the virus, and last 6 days, 7 days, I exercise every day, and I feel great. Honestly, I feel great.
Good.
All right. So what would a normal Russian Christmas be like for you if you were back home? Because you would celebrate on the 24th, right?
We don't celebrate Christmas, honestly. Okay. I think Christmas is most. I think Christmas celebrated is on January 7th in Russia, actually.
Okay, so like the New Year's.
Yeah, New Year's is a big thing. That's where you get your family together, kind of have a dinner, and then the president talks on like January 1st, like 12 a.m. and then the next day comes and he has like huge speech for like 5 to 7 minutes, and then you go outside, do all the fireworks and all kind of stuff, and then we have kind of our own Santa too, who's dropping the presents off and while you watching the fireworks outside.
Oh, nice.
What is your favorite all-time Christmas gift?
My favorite all-time Christmas gift?
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much. I'll go with shoes. Shoes is just the thing.
Really, eh?
You can't never have enough shoes, I guess, for me.
Okay. Fair. Are you an Air
But
Jordan
for me,
collector?
I'm so easy. Anything I get is always, I just love it, and I never complain about stuff.
So what was Christmas like for you in Cape Breton? Was it weird?
Yeah, like my first year I came, I kind of had no idea how much people celebrate Christmas, because for me it didn't mean like, well, we celebrate the New Year's more than anything else. So
yeah.
And then I see all the decoration in the house, and my Bill family is really really crazy about the Christmas. Let's call it that way. I know they're watching it right now, but I'm gonna be honest. So they love it, and they just made me love it as well. Just all the decorations, trees, and all that kind of stuff, and then the amount of time you spend with the family and dinners and all that kind of stuff. You gain 10 pounds over 3 days eating all the turkey and stuff, and it's just, and then all the presents, and everybody's happy and smiling, and so yeah, it was crazy for me. It was definitely a little switch.
That leads me to my other, that's a good point there, because now you've been in quarantine right around the holiday period. So what have you been doing for food? Is somebody just dropping it off to you at home? Like, or am I putting you on the spot with that question? I don't know.
No, they have the grocery delivery here, and I'm in my house, so I basically order the groceries and cook it for myself.
So what'd you do for Christmas? Did you have anything special on your own by yourself, or what?
I keep it nice and simple. I throw the chicken, steak, or fish in the air fryer, and I'm happiest guy in the world.
Good man. Good man.
All right. Is there a Christmas tree in your apartment in Belleville or in your house in Belleville?
Yeah.
Are there any decorations?
Yeah. I didn't do
What
it
do you
though.
got?
I got a Christmas tree and it has Belleville. It has Belleville bottles and Belleville stuff and then Ottawa Senators stuff on there. It's definitely it's definitely not my work, but we got a tree and it's nice.
Good.
That's good. All right, we'll move on. I want to talk World Juniors, but before we get to all the games yesterday, there was a guy that made a lot of attention because his name's Ivan, plays for the Czech Republic, but he did play in Cape Breton with you for a season. What did you guys, say anything to him about his name or ask him any questions?
Well, for me, I was really wondering if it was true or not, like because we called him Ivan, not Ivan. I'm pretty sure we called him
Okay.
Ivan. I honestly don't know what his name honestly is, because I saw his Facebook page first when I saw like him getting picked to our team, and his Instagram, and his name was spelled A G. What's that one with the J V
Jay?
N?
Yep.
That's how his name was spelled. It wasn't
Okay.
Ivan. So I
Okay.
was like, yeah, I had to I sent him a message and stuff, and like so I saw it on Instagram and I was like, that's not how you spell Ivan. And then he came and he just said like, that's how you spell my name in Czech. And it was pretty complicated, but obviously I see it all around and how people saying like his parents must be really creative and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we just call him Ivy, and I never really thought about it anymore. And now yesterday I started watching the game, and all I see and as a Twitter is just blown up, Ivan, and I was like, oh my god, like what is going on right now?
We did, it has been confirmed that despite the broadcast saying that it was Ivan as his middle name, he does not have a middle name, so his name is just Ivan, not Ivan. All right. So, did you watch Russia play yesterday? And were you a little concerned about their game since they lost 6-3 to Sweden?
Yeah, I watched the game. Obviously you wanna watch every game you can when your country plays, and I played in that tournament as well. And yeah, obviously it's only a started tournament for me. Like for me, in my year, we lost to Czech in the first game, and we were able to turn things around. And I hope it's just the first game, and the guys are really nervous, and it's the best time of the year. It's for some of the guys, it's only one opportunity, like it was for me to play in that tournament. Some guys, you see more kids now going there and playing underage. Before you always see the teams only have like 19 years old usually before, but now I guess the kids are coming up and lots of great young players who go in there underage and stuff. But I see the guys who is only they only have one opportunity to play in that tournament in the service. Obviously a little concerning. I know seeing Askarov getting pulled again, and that's his third World Juniors, and he was in that tournament with me when I played, and it's 2 years later he's still playing in that tournament. So I don't know. Yeah, well, I hope they can watch the game over and turn things around, and because every game there counts, and obviously you want to be in the pick when you go into the playoffs because it's only one game.
Do you get surprised? I guess when growing up, was the World Juniors a big deal in Russia like it is in Canada? Because as you come to Canada, you see the level of intrigue and interest and all the attention it gets. What's it like back home in Russia when it comes to World Juniors?
Yeah, I think it's getting a little crazy there. I mean, obviously, well, like my dad right now, like it's like 4 or 5 in the morning, and he still watches it. I'm like, why are you even watching these games? I'm not even playing. Why are you awake? Why are you texting me at 4 a.m. and tell me how this guy did that? And then you realize like it's just the best time of the year, and people. Obviously, my year we were in Czech, so for it wasn't a big time difference, so most of the country was able to watch the games. But when it's in Canada, it's 3-4 in the morning when Team Russia plays, and you see lots of people going crazy over it and cheer on your team. So I think obviously for Canada it's the best time of the year. So same thing for Russia. You see all the guys cheering on, and when I came back from World Juniors back home and I seen the amount of support people gave me, was pretty crazy to see.
I did a World Juniors 2013 in Ufa, Russia, and it was a great time. Like, the people were fantastic, really different, which is I really appreciated. And so you could get a sense that the World Juniors were certainly building, because it was a fun time to be around. They also had cheerleaders in the stands, which was a lot more entertaining than just having nobody really. So that was a good thing. Gotta love the Russians. They have cheerleaders.
Oh yeah. Ufa is a pretty nice city too, eh?
It was good. Yeah, it was miserably cold, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Wally, was that?
I heard a story.
Yeah. Wally, on that, remember the guy you have it pinned on your Twitter? Was that guy a Russian dude that was yelling at you on camera when you were doing that little hit on the road?
He is Russian, but it's.
Did you get that translated?
It's a weird dialect. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't we have this discussion?
Well, I forgot. What?
Yeah.
No.
So
you never said that.
If anybody has,
you'll have to show Igor. He has no idea what we're talking about. But anyway, he was like 6'6", right?
He was a tall man, imposing man. It's on my Twitter. It's pinned to my Twitter account.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I interjected there at the wrong time.
You should come to the show meetings occasionally.
Okay. I know.
What can you tell? I don't want to. This is obviously maybe sting when I bring it up. Your World Junior experience. You lose to Canada in the final. JBD on the team, Jacob Bernard Docker for Canada. Have you ever had a chat with him about the game?
We actually haven't really spoke about it, and he haven't really gave it to me yet. Maybe he's getting comfortable with me, and he's gonna give it to me at some point that they beat us. But we had a little conversation, I guess, like when we played against each other. But like I told him, like, he knows I was there, and obviously I knew he was there, but he never really chirped me about it. So it's kind of weird. But I'm waiting for him to tell me that, we got the gold, you got the silver, eh? So we'll see if that's going to happen.
You were up 4-1 in that game. I think you had an assist on the second goal, if I'm not mistaken. You're up 4-1, I think 12 minutes to go in the third. You end up losing.
We were up 3-1.
Oh, 3-1. Right,
wow.
You lost 4-3. I guess, like, take me through the end of that game and what it was like.
Oh, I honestly, it's like I remember it like it happened yesterday, to be honest. We were up 3-1, then they get a second goal, and it's a really, really crazy goal. I'd never seen anything like it, to be honest. The guy was one time in the shot in the corner, and Michael was skating by, like, to, I guess, top of the circle. He lifts his heel of back of his leg out. It hits his heel and goes top corner. So we're at 3-2, and they obviously made their push. It was 7 minutes left, I think, when it was 3-1 or something. Then they get a power play, where it was kind of I don't know. I guess it was a bad penalty by our player. Off the face-off, he cross-checked the guy, and it's gonna cost. So then Hayden puts it top corner then as well, and free, and we're like, they're on their toes, we're on our heels, they have all the momentum, and then like 3 minutes left, I think. That's when Nhl Thomas walked in, and kind of a broken play as well, and he gets on a breakaway, and our goalie is not sure if he should go for poke check or not, and he kind of hesitates, and he just goes around him and scores, and then after that it's getting even crazier. So they get a penalty 5-on-4. We pull the goalie 6-on-4. Then they flip the puck over the glass, but it hits the camera.
Oh, is that the camera?
TSN.
Right.
That hit the TSN camera. So we all obviously fired.
I remember that.
Not fired up. We understand we're 6-on-3, and if we don't score, we might as well all quit hockey. If you don't score 6-on-3 in the final, we should all put our skates, by above the picture and just put it into the wall. We're done. 6-on-3. We're called the timeout. We have Igor Larionov, the professor, writing all the stuff down for us. We're, it's 2.5 minutes left, and we have 2 minutes 6-on-3. and the ref skates to us. So they hit the puck was going over the glass and it hits the camera and it stays in the rink. So obviously, it's a camera. We thought it's not a part of the rink, right? It's not a glass. And the ref comes up to us and is like, yeah, EHF has the rule. If anything is attached to the rink and it keeps the puck inside of the play, it's not going to be a penalty.
Yeah.
So they don't call a penalty on that. We get on 6-on-4. We get a penalty. Our guy takes a penalty. Then we take another penalty. And and we were just done. And going from 3-1 with 7 minutes left, we, basically blew it ourselves, to be honest, because we were a way better team for 53 minutes of that game. Everything was on our side, I believe. It's not about saying that we were better or something, but I'm pretty sure we were dominating. And, Score was saying it. And when the most important time, I guess, all the emotions and everything overwhelmed, and the guys were just taking dumb penalties, and it cost.
Yeah, that was such an interesting game, and I do remember the camera now. And at the time when I was at TSN, I'm like, everybody's mad at the TSN camera. What was Igor Larionov like as a head coach?
For my year, he wasn't a head coach. He was assistant coach. That was his first year with the Team Russia, but he was running the power play. And when I went to the camp in Moscow and I saw him for the first time, and then he started running the power play, and it was like, holy, this guy knows everything. He has everything already in his head, just knows what's going on out there. And it's impressive. He was just doing everything by the book. He had a book in his head or something, I don't know. It was just everything was by the book. And he was really fun to be around. And he was a hockey player, and he knows what is it to play for, your country. And he would, just pull you out to have a conversation with you and stuff. So he was assistant coach that year with Methot. He wasn't a head coach, but the next year he was the head coach.
So was Bragan the coach that year?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was he like? Because he seemed to be very intense.
I think he was like a dad to the team. He was just a dad. Everybody, he just, he found a way all the time to glue your team together. Doesn't matter how, but he always found a way. And, if you go back and you always listen to the guys who played in that tournament, and they just call him basically a dad, because he found a way to glue the team together and keep it together. And it's crazy to think of, because after the tournament, I saw him and I looked at his eyes and I was like, you literally put us all together. We all came from different, we guy like me and a couple other guys, we were playing in North America, and those guys, bunch of guys, we compete against each other for so long too. And, it's always a weird times. Some of the guys you saw for first time ever, I never played against those guys. I never played with them. Some of the guys I played under 16, under 17, under 18, and you obviously got to find a way to glue the team together when they competed against each other. So that was really impressive. I think he's just, he finds a way.
What do you do with the silver medal?
I have it in Cape Breton.
Is it out? Does it stick? Are you still proud of it because you won a silver medal at best on best in the world, or does it sting because you didn't win the gold?
I think for me, obviously, at the time you were mad and sad and all that, and blah blah blah. But then you realize, you're not 10th team, you're second team in the world. Obviously, we all competitors, we all love to win. It's as much as it sucks, but you gotta you gotta realize that you're second best team in the world. And there were teams like USA. They had guys like Caulfield, Zegras, who were look at them, Turcotte, and then obviously Swedish team and Finland team. You see a bunch of those guys who are right now already playing NHL level. And so at that time, I was like, what, obviously it's as much as it sucks and stuff like that, but you gotta, look at the reality as well. You're second best team in the world, and I'm competitive. I hate losing, but you gotta accept that and not be mad about silver medal. I mean, for a little period of time you are, but after that you gotta control yourself and be positive about it.
Good for you. It's a great outlook to have. I completely agree because we hammer way too much on 18-year-old kids and 19-year-old kids about you lose this gold medal or whatever. And in fact, you should be proud that you're a silver whatever. Like to be among the top in the world at your level, should be very proud of that. So good for you. Question on this year's Russian team. Every player except Askarov, if I'm not mistaken, shoots left-handed. How does this happen?
I don't know what happened. They also didn't bring any North American players.
Right.
I'm not sure what's going on there, but you need right-handed players. You need guys on power play, right-handed, who can one-time the puck. Like you see Team Sweden yesterday, like Holt's power play goal, one-timer. If Russia runs the power play from that side, that's another 2 seconds for the guy to receive the puck and shoot the puck. Mm-hmm. So that's I don't know. That's kind of, I mean, I'm not making a call, but I think it shouldn't happen that you only have one right-handed player and it's your goalie. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So Canada's all their D are left-handed, which is an anomaly into itself as well. Is it easier to try and exploit guys on their backhand? Like, Matt, maybe you can jump in here too, of how tough it is to play sometimes on your backhand, which is obviously, I think, just trying to get pucks out on the backhand, if I'm not mistaken. Eh, Matt?
Yeah, well, it's difficult for a defenseman for sure. But like to Igor's point, if you're running a power play and you've got an umbrella and you're trying to set guys up for power play for one-time shots, it's such an easy, predictable situation for the PK guys. Like if I'm a defenseman, I'm going to cheat where I need to cheat because I know that there's no threat on the other side, right? But on defense, if you've got some capable guys that are big enough back there and can move, I don't see it being a big problem. But I do see it. I mean, that's a brutal issue to have if you're a forward group trying to run a power play and you've got no threat on that one-timer. That's not good.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Good players can find a way. Obviously, defend on your outside, whatever. That's obviously, not a but you there to score and power plays. My experience at the World Juniors, there's nothing much crazy goes on 5-on-5 when you play in between Russia, Sweden, Finland, U.S. I'm not taking all those other teams, out. You see Slovakia giving some problems to US yesterday, 3-2 game. Then you see Germany, and you realize Germany could have had Stutzle, Peterka, I believe Seider. Is he 2002?
I think so. They at least had the other two for sure. Yeah.
And Reichel. They could have had those three.
Reichel's good too. Yeah. Yeah. He was at the World Championships last year, wasn't he?
Well, because I remember those guys because in my year, that was then when they played and we walked in and it was their first year, whatever, they made it back to World Juniors to first division. And somebody comes up to us and is like, there's, a couple kids around there, 2002, they're pretty good. And then we go out to play against them and it's they're 17. And it felt like, when back in whenever 2016, when Laine, Puljujärvi, and Aho were underage players.
Finland.
And they were absolutely incredible. They won the championship for them.
Yeah.
So and then you see Germany and then it's obviously all those but I found that when you play against Sweden and all those guys, that's when power plays, it has to click. And if it doesn't click, because Sweden they scored 3 goals on a power play yesterday. Here we go. Yeah. Russia scored 0 goals on power play. They won.
Yeah, special teams is huge. And we were talking, you mentioned the World Championship. I just don't want to lose my train of thought here. With Russia specifically, here's a question for you. We always knew because I went over to 3 World Championships with Canada, and we always talked about how Russia just would miraculously have like my first year, we meet Russia in the quarterfinals. They struggle the whole tournament, right? So we end up playing them. We're a much higher seed. Play them in the quarters. It should be a walkthrough for us. All of a sudden, they get Tarasenko, Ovechkin, all these guys start coming over from North America to join the team because it's heavily incentivized. From the rumor was Russia was always paying their players if they won the gold and would give them a Mercedes. Is there any truth to that? And were the World Junior players getting any kind of incentive for winning the gold medal? Like if you guys won gold with Russia or anything, Was the Federation giving you guys some money? Are you allowed to talk about that? Or are the KGB listening in right now?
I don't know if I should talk about it, to be honest.
Okay, so that answers my question.
Yeah.
So you guys, you get paid for this.
But the problem is, like you represent your country, and if you even if you get any medal, you get rewarded for it. Yeah, I'm not I'm not gonna tell you how much we get or what we get, but you get. You get the. You get the cookie.
I know I put you on the spot. I put you on the spot, but I just remember everyone always talked about like they're always going to come over. Like when we heard Washington was getting kicked out of that first round or whatever it was, we knew that they were going to get a bunch of guys like Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, and I forget there was another player too. But but we always knew they would get like a what different. Well, have you heard about this at all? I'm trying to remember the exact Mercedes they all got.
I don't know. I just thought it was cash, so I didn't know.
No. It was It was like $100,000 per player. I think it could have been more than that. $100,000 plus a Mercedes.
See, Meth, you know everything without me even telling you, so I will keep my mouth.
Okay, let's move on.
So, hey, Igor, question for you. This comes out of the blue. Would you go to the Olympics if you were allowed?
Would I go to Olympics?
Yeah. Yeah, like
right now, the NHL if they said, we have a spot for you, will you come over?
I mean, that definitely would be a hard thing to turn down, obviously.
Yeah.
Especially with me having COVID right now, like I'm immune, so
yeah,
I don't have to isolate myself for 3 to 5 weeks. But if I have opportunity to play at the Olympics, I would never shut it down. Like,
and I get that sense from everybody. It's just the quarantine part. You could be stuck there for like 5 weeks.
They said China set everything up to burn down, like from coming out of that to, you go to the tournament and you get positive tests and you out for 3 to 5 weeks. What? What is it?
Who wants to do that? Exactly. That's what we were saying last week.
Nobody will want to.
Makes no sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Why? Who's going to win the World Juniors, and why is it Canada?
The World Juniors is gonna. The champions are gonna be our Team Russia, and I'll tell you why. Because they have all left-handed players. That's why they're gonna win. That's the
secret. That's the secret, eh? Interesting. Okay, I didn't.
It's a new system.
With you.
New system. They're making me. If they invite me to Olympics, I will have to turn to the left too.
You're gonna go left, eh? Okay.
Igor, who does your decorating? So I noticed you've got like something my wife would put up in our house, which I've had to tear down over the years. That sign there that says, that live, laugh, love kind of stuff, and then you got a little plastic fern in the corner. Did you put those things there?
That's the guy who basically lent us like we renting a house from. That's his stuff.
So I'm insulting the homeowner right now. I'm not actually insulting you.
Yeah. It's everything from him he has in the house. I haven't decorated anything in this house, to be honest. It's everything like it was, and I don't mind all those little signs, I guess. I mean,
yeah, when I was in the American League, when I played in the American League, I was playing in Syracuse, and I had nothing, like no art. Nothing hung up. I had a couch, an Xbox, and my bed up in the loft, and that was it. That's all I had.
That's like Tim Stutzla's picture he just posted this week.
Oh,
TV,
really? I didn't see it.
Couch, bed, and PS5, I think.
It's amazing. It's amazing how much money you save when you aren't married. It's amazing.
Life Facts by Meth. Quickly, okay, so Igor, I wanted to ask you, if you were to buy Christmas gifts for a couple of your teammates, what would you get them? So I wanted to start with Artem Zub, and you would know him being Russian. I don't know how much you talk to him. I understand you don't necessarily spend Christmases hanging out, but what if you had to get him a gift? What would it be?
I would have probably got him the English Russian translator to get his English to another level. 100%.
Have you spoken to him much?
He's doing good.
You ever talk to him?
Good. He's way better than he was last year, but we gotta take him to the next level.
Can you help get him on the show and you translate for him?
Well, once I get a shot back up there.
We'll get him a sweatshirt. You guys can have
We'll try.
same Wham hoodie. And okay, all right. What would you get JBD?
JBD?
Yeah. The guy that beat you for the gold medal. What would you get him for?
Oh man, this guy is the most professional guy you could ever like. I don't know. I will get him something. I don't know, some cheat meal kind of stuff. I would get him a milkshake from Five Guys.
Oh yeah, he eats really clean, eh? He doesn't eat like
clean.
junk food.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Oh well, that's good for him.
It's not a bad
clean too. Hey, Igor, you eat pretty clean too, don't you now? Like you've changed your diet a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's good.
I do eat a lot, but he's the next level.
Perfect. Yeah.
I would take him to Dairy Queen.
Yeah, I would get him a gift card to the Dairy Queen for $25-$30 bucks. Couple blizzards would.
Okay. What would you get Troy Mann, your head coach in Belleville?
The guy loves the coffee, so I would have gotten him the best coffee machine in the world.
Okay. Is he like an espresso kind of guy or just straight up like coffee? Black?
I think he could drink any coffee, to be honest. I come to the ring at 8 in the morning. He's already on 4th or 5th cup of coffee, so he's.
I'm the same way.
It doesn't matter. It's just like a gas in the car, basically.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
What would you get Drake Batherson?
Drake Patterson. Oh. Well,
now keep in mind, I guess he could probably buy whatever it is he wants now, but I'm just.
Yeah, he's not drinking ice caps anymore, I believe, so I wouldn't get him a Tim's card. For Drake, I know how much he loves the shoes too. I probably would have got him a nice pair of shoes if I was able to be honest.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, at some point maybe I will later on, but not yet. Because I haven't gotten anything from him, so. And he's making $5 million a year. Yeah, he had that wallet, just extra wallet, and he had that wallet just laying around, just not using it, so he offered it to me. It's not like he went and bought it for me. He's like, "Oh yeah, I have an extra wallet in my backpack somewhere, so I'm gonna give it to you."
That's great.
Well, you should don't get him a birthday gift. Can I ask you about? All right, let's ask about Belleville since you're second on the team in scoring. 4 goals, 14 assists, 18 points. 8 points in your last 9 games. Belleville's won 6 of the last 9 games. You guys were getting on a roll. So does it feel good now that you guys seem to have maybe turned the corner a bit? Plus, I know early on all the call-ups and everything that was going on was decimating the lineup, so it was tough. You got called up as well. Like, do you feel like this team is starting to come together a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look back, we started 2-6.
Yeah.
So, we got back up to 500, and for Troy, it's obviously it was a goal before Christmas. Obviously, we got postponed 5 to 6 games before Christmas now, but it was a goal for us to at least be at the 500 mark. And yeah, I think all the team just obviously for myself, speaking myself, obviously I would love to have more goals, but this year is just a little bit different than last year. I believe the league is way better than last year. It's I will give it at least 25% better because you don't have taxi squads, and last year I see so many guys going just over to Europe to play there because AHL was just such a strange year and 35 games, and but I feel like I just kind of taken my game to the next level. Seeing 10 assists last year, I already matched it with what I had in 35 games last year. So. And obviously the scoring chances, I have around 60 shots on net in 18 games is pretty good. So, it's not concerned for me. I'm, creating the chances. But for our whole team, I think everybody's coming together, see guys like JBD, it was his first pro year. And obviously at the start, it was adjustment. And, even guys like me and like Cole Reinhardt, Kastelik, and Lassie, we were rookies last year, but this year, kind of a rookies again because the league is better, right? So we had to adjust to that again, and and obviously we didn't have our captain Logan Shaw for a while, and now we got him back, and that kind of helped the leadership group in the dressing room. And I think just so many new guys on the team, and kind of weird start to the season where COVID hit at Ottawa, and we were calling a bunch of guys up, and then 7 to 8 East Coast players were playing on our team, and they were losing games, and then when we all came back, it's kind of we turned it on and kind of kept rolling, and last 2 games obviously they were pretty weird ones because didn't play anything else, and obviously we gotta take it as a positive. 14 days off, and we got 50 games left to play, and so we shouldn't complain about not being rested and stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, might be too rested. It's just a reminder. One of our sponsors, BEI, by the way, Bronisher Excavating Inc., helping to provide this show to you live and always on time. BEI, BronisherExcavatingInc.com. Igor, is one of the things, and I mentioned those 8 points in the last 9 games. That's when you got sent back down. So what was it like for you to go back down? Did you feel different playing that game after having had the taste of the NHL?
Honestly, I thought I went back with the positive mindset. Obviously, I was thankful for the opportunity being up there. It's kind of, obviously it was not something how I imagined my first NHL game come by from, guys getting COVID, and it's not, it's not a bad thing. Obviously, I wanted to, just prove myself that I'm ready and stuff like that, and don't leave them any choice, but it is what it is. And, I'm thankful for that opportunity that, I was able to, just sniff out what's NHL like and being around the guys. And I just took all the experience back down, watched the games over with my coach here, Ben Sexton. I usually watch all my shifts after every game, so he knew that I'm going to ask for it. So he had my all shifts, caught up, and, positive and negative things. And I thought it was more positive than negative in that, 4 games. I, created chance, obviously didn't get my first one, but, it was lots of around the net, and, the way the Ottawa wanted me to play to, crush the net and being on top of goalie and not being afraid to, protect the puck. So I just came down here and kind of played the same way, crushing the net and making plays when I can, and and it just paid off, I guess. And and team went on the roll. So
I thought you looked really good. What would have been the biggest takeaway? Like, you looked very comfortable out there. That's what I'm trying to say. What would be the biggest takeaway for you in your little short experience there, getting up and then going back down? What was your takeaway from the game, and what you need to improve on?
I think just like even go back to when we had a conversation with you, like at the start when you wished me luck before the game, and not to respect the guys too much. So first was obviously in my mind, I knew that I belong there, and I can be there obviously, but just how quick I gotta make that decision with the puck, how much less time I have.
Yes.
So when I went back here, I just kind of focused on that. Obviously, maybe you will have one or two extra seconds in AHL, but if you make that decision, 1 or 2 seconds, it's gonna make open everything up more. So that's what I kind of came back here and when I got on the power play, tried to make a play as quick as I can, and kind of everything all together started kind of paying off, and I started getting more chances, and the guys were scoring, and my assists are not the prettiest assists, it's like rebounds, but so just how quick you got to make a decision with the puck, that was the biggest take for me.
Good for you.
We've seen chat or questions in the chat. I want to interrupt right now to completely take this in a whole different direction. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone.
Home Alone. Okay. And have you watched them all? Is there like 3?
No,
Okay.
Not at all of them. I watched a little bit. Like, I just thought it was pretty funny, but I'm not the biggest movie guy, honestly. So,
you live with 2 goalies in Belleville normally during the year, Kevin Mandolese and Matt Sogard. What is it like to live with 2 goalies? Goalies are known to be a little different. This is very adventurous for you.
Yeah, my life is kind of surrounded by goalies, I guess. My brother's a goalie, and now my 2 roommates is a goalie, so I can't get away from them. I mean, they're a little bit special. It's okay. I treat them a little bit differently, but It's okay. We find a way. We're good. We're good. I mean, well, Kevin is going back to junior. I know him for 5 years now, and I have, I always been really close to him, and we always kind of talked and stuff, and we're close buddies. And Mats is just a nice guy all around. And last year he kind of came over, and I kind of already made a friendship with him, and yeah, it's been fun, honestly.
Are you allowed to talk to them on game days?
They talk to me a little bit. A little bit. Depends on who's playing. If one of them is not playing, I guess he's talking to me. So other one is playing, he's not talking to me. So I kind of, don't pay attention.
Enough.
But I leave them alone on the game days. After a game, I just, if they were good, I'm just gonna talk to them. But before the game, I'm just gonna, let them do their thing, whatever they're doing.
I don't know. Did you watch the U.S. game last night? Did you see Jake Sanderson play? I guess what's your opinion of him if you did watch him play?
I didn't watch the game yesterday, but I watched him playing against Finland in pre-tournament, and obviously I see his highlights, and it's an unbelievable player. Like he's going to be a good one for that organization. You just watch him, how confident he is, and his second tournament last year. He kind of taken that experience from last year, and pretty sure he has a great year in NCAA right now as well. And just watching, I kind of just watch his highlights sometimes too, because I want to see what kind of player he is, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Finally, before we go, I went and looked at your headshots over the last couple of years, and I see now you've got a hat on or a toque on that covers up your hair. But if you take a look, Igor, these are the headshots of how you've changed since 2018 when Alex rolls it in here. And I want you to explain to me, is your mother okay with the way that your hair looks now compared to when you were a nice, clean-cut young boy?
Oh,
there
wow.
we go. Okay,
Nice.
Look, 2018 and now 2020, you've just let yourself just go here.
Well, okay, I have a good excuse. 2020, everything locked down. No haircut places. Then that was just a bad hair day on that media day. That's one of those days when you have no control over your hair. So I mean,
don't know what that's like.
My mom likes my hair. She's never really she didn't tell me to cut it off. Like sometimes I wake up and it's like on A game. It's either way A game or it's just below the ground. It's either way it's nice and pretty or it's just awful and all over the place. It's no middle. So 2021 was one of those days where it's awful.
Which one of these would be an A game photo? See, 2018, you look older than all of them.
Yeah, 2018 is my second year. It's my last year in junior. No, 2019 is my last year in junior. That's when I went to Columbus camp.
Yeah, that's a Columbus photo. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like my long hair. I mean, but 2021, that's an awful day. So I will go with 2020 isn't too bad. It's a little bit. Oh, it's not too bad. 2018 probably the cleanest one.
It's that fisheye from 2020, which all the team had to go through. You have no shoulders.
The pictures there were awful. I look like I'm taking a picture for prison, to be honest.
So good. Igor, we've appreciate you taking the time to sit by and chat with us. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you.
Do you do New Year's resolutions? Do you have one?
Sorry, what?
Do you have New Year's resolutions? Do they have that in Russia where you, I don't know, plan a new thing for the next year of what you want to accomplish? In 2022, I'm going to whatever.
You know what? I made myself, I'm telling myself I'm just going to live the life day by day, to be honest, because with this COVID stuff in the world right now going on and everything's going on, I'm just taking my life day by day. I always just try to find a way to get better, try to get better the next day. wake up and be better than I was
That's fair.
yesterday. So that's kind of my goal.
When you're our age, you just try to wake up each day. That's how it is for me.
Fair enough.
Anyway, take care. Enjoy the few last days of 2021 and getting back on the ice tomorrow. And we look forward to seeing you back and playing some hockey, my friend.
Thank you.
There goes Igor Sokolov, member of the Belleville Senators and Ottawa Senators, as we hope to see him back up here. I could talk to him all day long, Meth.
No, yeah, he's a good interview, and he's very outgoing, isn't he? So it's, I think those are the guys that always seem to make really good careers for themselves, especially the Europeans that come over initially that don't speak much English. I feel like all the guys that seem to really gain a lot of the success have those outgoing personalities, and aren't shy to kind of integrate in this new society, and they watch all the American movies and listen to the American music, and that's usually how they learn. So I know that was one of Eric's tricks with Carlson. He was saying that when he came over here, he just watched a ton of TV. It was a ton of Canadian and American television, and that's kind of what polished off his English for him.
Yeah, and same with Anton Volchenkov. I always remember, like, he barely spoke. I feel like he played 8 years with Ottawa, and I may have had 2 interviews with him the entire time he was here. But he always watched. He had a bunch of DVDs in his house, and he just watched movies to learn how to speak English. It'd be funny which ones he like. I hope it wasn't Pulp Fiction where he learned to speak English, because that would probably be a challenge.
It's a great movie, but yeah, I agree. Any Tarantino movie works. Yeah.
Before we go, I have some questions for you, Meth. And since there's no sense going on, by the way, before we switch over to that, Philip Gustafson and now Anton Forsberg, Ottawa's 2 goaltenders, are in COVID protocol. So depending on how this all plays out, Gustafson should be able to come out and be ready. However, 1, we don't know when they're playing again, but 2 is we don't know how Philip Gustafson actually feels right now. So he could be eligible to come out. That doesn't mean he's necessarily symptom-free or feeling that great. As we know, it does have an effect on not having skated for a while and just the conditioning. So interesting to see how that's going to play out in the next couple of days. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, since there's no hockey, at least till tomorrow at the very earliest, is there any, if we look at the top 10 or the top 6 standings, and even the bottom 6, we can put them together, brought to you by the way, by gongshowgear.ca. They do have a Boxing Day sale going on all week long. You can head over to gongshowgear.ca and check that out. But here are the standings. Are there any surprises in the top 6 for you right now?
Oh, not really. To be honest with you, that top 6 is pretty consistent with, I think, most of our predictions. And of course, you can argue, 1 through 6, you can shuffle some of those teams in and out and switch them up. But not so much there. I am surprised Ottawa's sitting in 30th. If they can continue to play the way they did most of that month of December, and I'm not expecting them to win as much as they have or upset as many good teams. But if they can keep up with that play and remain somewhat consistent, you got to think they're going to leapfrog a couple of those teams up front, like Seattle, Buffalo, even New Jersey. I feel like Ottawa's a better team. When they're playing and they're a much better team. So we could see a little bit of movement there. My only confliction here, I'm conflicted rather, is just that lottery pick, right? I think at this point, and I'm in the camp that believes, if you're not going to make the playoffs, you may as well tank. It sounds terrible. And I don't want people to, jump down my throat for that one, but I'd love to see them get another top pick. I think it would be really good for the team. I know they have a lot of prospects, but it's up for grabs. And there's some pretty good players coming up in this next draft, but we'll see.
Yeah, interesting to see, like, Buffalo. I know they should be there, but at the beginning of the year, they started almost like a house on fire, right? They were one of the top 4 teams, I think, in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I know they started. That's all I'm saying is people get so excited when teams first play the first 10 games and they think that that's how the year's going to go. But Buffalo is one of those teams up there. And Detroit was, I think, struggling at the beginning, and now they're playing a little bit better. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
That all plays itself out, though. I forget who told me, but the cream always rises to the top, right? And you let the season play out a little bit here, and all of a sudden everything falls into place where it should be. When you're playing 82 games, those little hot streaks, you know what I mean? Like, they don't do a whole lot for you. Consistency is the key, and that's, I know I'm saying the obvious, but I think now coming in after Christmas, you're starting to see what the standings are going to look like, likely toward the, for the rest of the year. There might be the odd upset here and there, but this is more or less what it's going to look like going into the playoffs.
Well, some of the middle teams that are interesting to me, and you can tell me what you think. Like,
Yeah, there's a
Pittsburgh's
dog
now
fight in the
10th.
middle.
Pittsburgh's been on fire, right? But now I
Yep.
think they just put like 6 players in COVID today.
Yeah.
Calgary's 11th, Vegas 13th. Edmonton has dropped. Now they're 15th in the league. And I'm starting to think that's a surprise. Might be where they should be, though. I'm not sure, Meth. Like I've never been a big. It's probably because I don't like their blue line or their goaltending that much. I just haven't been that sold on the way they play.
And the COVID,
right? They've got great guys up front.
Yeah, and I don't want to veer off again. I just wanted to throw this out there quickly. Like, as we're talking about the break and the teams and the standings, like you look at New Jersey, for example, this break couldn't have come at a better time for them. They had lost, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 in a row. And then conversely, you mentioned Pittsburgh. They were on like a 7-game heater, and then they hit the break where it's probably the last thing they want. And the same applies to Ottawa, right? So it sucks. The current landscape's brutal for that. It's unpredictable. We look at Belleville right now. You can have how many players on the shelf with COVID where you have to shut things down. So it's probably going to remain like this for a little bit until most of the teams, till COVID rather runs its course through most of these teams. And then hopefully they're immune and they can keep playing and you're not going to see the disruptions that you're seeing. I just don't know at this point what the answer is. I think, was it the NFL, Wally? The NFL and the NBA are now adopting a different approach where they're not testing asymptomatic guys anymore. Is that what's happening? Did you see that? Or am I wrong?
I don't know how it's all playing out, but they've talked about, but it's either been discussed or they're doing it that way. I can't remember.
Yeah.
What it is.
I'm not advocating for any of it. I don't know enough. Yeah, I don't know enough. I'm just saying, we're seeing all these cases pop up now, and it's like, at what point do you just have to either shut it down for a while or you slow down the cases where you're not, you know what I mean? Like some of these guys are completely asymptomatic. So that's going to be the question, I think, moving forward that the NHL is going to have to figure
out. Before we go any further, has your wife texted during the show? Are you okay to continue?
She does not listen to me, Wally, and God knows she ain't listening to me right now.
Yeah, but last time we did a show, she texted and you were in trouble.
Yeah, what was that about again? I don't remember. I mean, I'm always in trouble with something. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Yeah, so
specific.
I just want to make sure we're okay. Yeah.
Oh,
we're good.
Oh, whatever. I'm okay right now. I think my daughter's sleeping and she's keeping my son company. So yeah, we're good.
Okay, we'll flip to NHL scoring leaders. Is there a surprise among the top 6 of any of them where you've got Draisaitl, McDavid, Ovechkin, Nazem Kadri, Kaprizov, Stamkos?
I mean, what the obvious, and you've already got it highlighted, is Kadri. I don't think anybody had him in the top 5 going into the year. So, I mean, you're going to see guys like this occasionally pop up and have these ridiculous seasons. And good for him. You know what? He's grinding through it and he's getting a little bit of success. And he is a hard worker. I mean, I didn't always have the time of day for him when I played against him because he was pretty unpredictable, right? Like he could be floating around all game and then all of a sudden just lay a dirty hit on a player. I think that's part of his game, and I got to commend him for it. I mean, it makes him effective. But yeah, I mean, those top 3 are no-brainers. Ovi at this age to me is a huge surprise. I know for many it's probably not.
I think.
Yeah, like you're 36 years old and you're still putting up those numbers. That's insane. So you got to give him props. And then like Kaprizov, at number 5, a young guy in his second year. It's another guy that obviously, I mean, he's like 35 years old, but other than that,
I was going to say
he's
he's not that young. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, those are all the usual suspects otherwise.
I think Ovechkin, if this continues the way it is, wins MVP.
I mean, yeah, you can make an argument for it for sure. I can't stress this enough. Like Wally, I know you can speak to this. Like for me, like I'm always like, hinging my legs sitting down. Everything's creaky. I'm sore. And then meanwhile, I'll turn the TV on and watch Washington play and Ovi's out there doing his thing. Now, his game's, it's always evolving, right? Like, you watch him play now. There's some funny clips that you can find him kind of just coasting up the ice, right?
Just
into
coasting
his little
down
sweet
the
spot
wing.
for the one time. Straight-legged.
Yeah,
but
he's just waiting.
You can't take anything away from him because he does occasionally have a really physical edge to him, and he still does. So, again, I know a lot of my friends that's their favorite player. I've had to over the years get his jersey signed for some of my buddies because they all love him. So it's got to give it to Ovi. He's a great ambassador of the game, and he's still doing his thing.
Okay, so in their heyday, you have Crosby and Ovechkin. Which one do you take to build your team around?
Probably Crosby. only because, well, he's got the numbers to back it.
Yeah.
And he's got the cups. And he's been doing it for how many years now? So I got to go with Sidney. I think for me, he makes everybody around him that much better. He's a good setup guy. He's really strong on his skates, really good passer,
And he's not
good leader.
flashy.
No, and I hate comparing the two. I just, because I don't want to take anything away
Because they're
from
complete
Ovi.
opposites.
Yeah, and I'd love to have Ovi on my team as well. I mean, if you're going to pigeonhole me into picking one, respectfully, I'd have to go with Crosby for sure, just because of the numbers and his track record.
You brought up tanking earlier, and I'm curious if you're on the team right now. So if you're Brady Tkachuk, are you okay with that mindset?
No, of course not. I mean, if you're Brady Tkachuk, you want to win games. None of those players, and I can speak to this when I was playing, no one ever gave a shit about the draft picks, right? Like, you don't give a shit about a 17-year-old that hasn't even been chosen to your team yet. You only care about
who's
the
coming to take your job.
Exactly. So and beyond all that, it's in everybody's best interest to play well. It's in everybody's best interest to win games. The coaching staff looks better. You're likely going to have more of the same core group of players the following season because you're heading in that right direction. But when you start to struggle, when you start teetering towards the bottom of the standings, changes are coming. You're probably going to lose one of your closest friends at the trade deadline and or in the summertime around free agency. So players do not even, it doesn't even cross their minds, right? The tank thing is more a media person, a fan point of view kind of thing, because selfishly we want to see another stud come into the lineup and help the team move forward. But yeah, it's not something that I'm sure the assistant captains and the captain and Brady Tkachuk are advocating for in the group.
I know you don't, well, it's been busy because you have a small family. And so sitting around to watch 8 hours of World Junior Hockey yesterday was probably tough on you. My question is, did you see Mason McTavish's goal?
I did, where he does this. So I was in and out of the game because, of course, my kids are running around and we have Christmas presents littering the home. But I did watch that specific goal. That was beauty. The amount of time and space he had. The only thing I was curious about was the last little move, which was very subtle. Right before he scores, he kind of carries the puck underneath the guy's stick. And it was so casual, almost like in practice, Wally, like when your kids were growing up, you'd have like a big pylon with a stick kind of creating a little triangle and you'd put the puck through. Yeah. But he did it so effortlessly. And then he goes far side shelf. I believe it was far side. I could be wrong. But yeah, really, really nice play. And those are the plays I don't expect to see from him, right? Because he seems like that gritty kind of, a power forward, right? You don't expect that finesse out of his game. So is that the kind of play you're going to see from him if he does make it to the NHL level? I don't know that that's something you're going to consistently, see out of his game. But those flashes are a nice thing. And again, I just think he's the guy that really will have to lead the charge. One of them, especially up front with Canada right now, because you look around the group, you don't have a lot of returning guys. You got Perfetti, as we mentioned on the last show, but those are the guys like McTavish that are going to have to
only two guys.
In goal. Those are the guys that are going to need to step up. And it's refreshing to see it. They had a really rough start where a lot of us, I think, we're all kind of wondering, oh boy, is this going to be indicative of the rest of their tournament? But they turn it around. It's the first game. I'm happy for Dave Cameron because he's a great guy, great coach. That to me was the biggest thing. The first guy I thought of was Cameron. And then all of a sudden they start slowly coming back, and I just felt good for them that they were coming back into the game, and then they get the win. So it'll be curious to see how the rest of the tournament pans out.
That McTavish goal said two things to me. One, it seemed like he was on an ODR. He's just toying with everybody, right? It's like
2.5 laps,
everybody's just kind of sticking their stick out. And then two, it's, I guess, probably the ease, right? It shows how comfortable he is on an international stage at the biggest moment, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll say millions of people watching, and he's just
he's
out
confident.
there dangling kids.
That's right.
He's on a different level.
It's an NHL player playing with junior players, right? Like that's what it is. And that's where you see the difference all the time. And you start playing with adults, guys that have kids and stuff like that. And then you go back down to play at the World Juniors. Like you've already got a huge advantage over the rest of that group. And he's not alone. Of course, there are other NHL guys there, but more specifically in his case with the style of play he plays. And I'd like to see more of that from Canada. We saw some of those hits, Wally, they were dangerous, but clean. But it just goes to show you that margin and how much different it is when you've got a bunch of man children coming in and playing with guys that are still developing. Like that's the recipe for disaster for some of your opponents. But good for Canada. They got through that first game.
Canada next plays tomorrow, or I guess it's the 28th. Yeah, so tomorrow they play Austria as their second game.
Yep.
Jake Sanderson, we've talked a lot about Tyler Clevin, also on Team USA. They come away. They also have a victory, 3-1.
Wally, did you see any of that game? I didn't see any of the US game.
Did.
Full disclosure. So how did they look?
The problem, well, it's tough to really see a lot of, to me, Jake Sanderson's game. He played 20 minutes. He played over 24 minutes. The thing with him and a lot of the USD, like the US carried the play so much. They're in the offensive zone. You don't really get a chance to see them play that well defensively. But when he takes the puck and skate, if I don't know if you could take, and I don't have any technical wizardry to do this. If you were to show me Thomas Chabot and Jake Sanderson skating up the ice together, to me, it would look the same. They just are fluid.
Really?
It's just effortless. And there's so much.
Got that
same
long,
thing with Mason.
He's got that long
He's got
stride.
the confidence. Yeah. He could, you just get the sense he can skate through everybody and that he doesn't want to all the time. He's like, well, maybe I shouldn't show off to everybody here. His game was really good. And I think he played 4 minutes more than anybody else on Team USA. You can see where they lean on him, obviously. And if you're playing that much of the World Juniors, you know that you are among the elite.
Well,
right?
Wally, the same applies. Just the last note for Team Canada with defensemen. That's why I'm going back over to Canada. Like Owen Power, I know he had a hat trick, but is anybody surprised? Like he was dominant at the World Championships. Like when we were watching him play against all these adults, like these big boys, and he was killing it. And you could see the progression throughout the tournament. And now all of a sudden he's back in a junior tournament like 8 months later. Like no wonder he's killing it out there. So I think Canada's got a real opportunity here. Some of these players that they have, geez, it's going to be exciting to watch. And I can't wait for that matchup. Like the Sanderson, Owen Power, all those guys. Like when they start playing the big dogs and those big teams start playing against each other, it's going to be a treat.
Owen Power, the first Canadian defenseman, if you didn't hear, to have a hat trick at a World Junior game, which is amazing to me when you think back of all the stud defensemen they've had on that blue line. It's crazy to me. The other thing is, I looked up Thomas Chabot's ice time at the World Juniors just to compare to see what kind of ice time he should kind of expect for Jake Sanderson. 5 times he played over 24 minutes out of 7 games. And that last game was obviously the one where he played 43 minutes and 53 seconds of an 80-minute game. It's amazing to me still to say that number. Like it's 44 minutes of an 80-minute hockey game.
So impressive. I don't know how they do it, but you're in there sucking back those Gatorades and you've got these little salt packets and you just do what you can to get through it. But when you're a skater, especially, and you're not just out there kind of, behind the play, you're literally dictating the play with all those minutes under your belt. That's very impressive. Yeah.
World Junior Chat brought to you by Bonnechere Excavating Inc., BonnechereExcavating.com, helping shape the Ottawa Valley. Before we go, what time did you get up on Christmas morning?
I was up before everybody else, probably around like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, I can't sleep in, Wally. You know that. I'm a morning guy. But I'm, conversely, I'm like also not a night hawk at all. Like I know you are. But I'm in bed at like if I could go to bed at 9:30 every night, I would. And I'm very disciplined in that. It drives my wife crazy. Like we could be like 3/4 of the way through a movie and I'll be like, nope, done. And I go to bed and we'll watch the rest tomorrow night. It drives her nuts. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't stay up for 20 minutes?
Well, no, if there's 20 minutes left, that's fine. I guess that was a bit of an exaggeration. But if there's like 35 minutes left and it's already 10 p.m., I'm shutting it down and I'm going to my bed.
Really? Wow, you're such an old man. I got up at
creature of habit.
9:30, I think it was.
You got up at 9:30?
Yeah.
What are you like?
Oh, I got a question.
What are you,
I got to ask you this question before I forget.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't sleep well that night, and then the kids didn't get up, so I just stayed in bed. It's Lisa's birthday on the 29th. I can't find one of the gifts. So I don't know. Do I have to go buy a new one, or can I just say, honey, there's a gift in the house I got to find somewhere. You'll get it when I find it. What's the right choice?
I hate birthdays. I hate Christmas. When I say I hate, I mean, I don't like the gift exchanging. like it
Right.
just stresses me out. I understand for kids, get them a couple gifts.
Absolutely.
But like adults exchanging, I get a card or maybe doing something nice for each other. But so you're asking the wrong guy. Like Ellie and I had an understanding for Christmas this year that we were not exchanging gifts. We didn't buy gifts. It was all about the kids. I still got her a card and like a little bottle of champagne and stuff like that. She didn't get me anything. But I'm not about that life. It's not for me.
The fact you brought it up makes me think that you're about it.
I deflected. Yeah, so I kind of veered off there. So in your case, Wally, I mean, I don't want to know what it is because in case she's watching, maybe she's seeing this, but I think you're shit out of luck.
She doesn't know where I am.
Okay.
Really?
Right,
I got to go get a new one. Okay. And finally, I got this text Christmas morning. This is a dad and his son. Dad, do you feel like getting up? I'll put coffee on for you. What time is it? Almost 6. What time is it? I don't know. What time is it? 3:30. Could you imagine? Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sure I'll get there at some point, but yeah, we're not there yet.
Well, that's what I thought you might be at. Yeah. So
No. Our kids love to sleep. They're good sleepers. We're really lucky.
You are lucky. Okay. So did you build any? Is he into Lego yet?
Yeah. Okay. But my wife thought it was a good idea to buy him like 8+ Legos. So we got him like this freaking an Avengers set with it's so intricate, right? And so the poor guy doesn't know what he's doing. He just turned 4. No. And the only way you can do a puzzle is if you literally sit beside him and build it for him. So I'm like, here I am, right. Scratching my head thinking why? But if I say something, she'll just get mad at me. So I just let her, just go buy him more puzzles. It's fine. Or
Lego City. Get Lego City. That's the stuff. I built my kid.
Are those the bigger ones? The bigger pieces?
Yeah. No, that's, I can't remember, but Lego City they're just the cars that are much easier to handle and there's a lot smaller to build and it doesn't take you 12 hours to build.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. He's into puzzles now. He's a big puzzle guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can see you doing the puzzle.
Oh, you can? Do you think
No. No, not at all.
Anyway, no, the kids had a good Christmas. It's been tough though because the weather's been so miserable. Like it's -12 outside right now, so we can't go to the outdoor rinks. Yeah. And because of COVID, it's so hard to book ice times. Like you have to go online now, right, on the City of Ottawa website and book time slots for the public skating. Yeah. And they're always booked up. Like I can't get them out anywhere.
You should
so
build
I don't know
one.
What I'm going to do.
Build one in the backyard.
The only area that I can build one right now is above the septic.
8,000 acres in that Manotick.
We have some space, but the only area that's level is above the septic bed, and apparently you shouldn't do that. So I'm kind of shit out of it.
No. All right. Well, I'll try and move it around. Anyway, okay. So we are back. I think Thursday. If you're not doing anything.
Yeah, I can do it.
All
right. The boys are playing, so we have DJ's back, I guess. When's the boys' next game? Because they just canceled the other one, right? Did they just postpone another game?
We don't know. But is it? I don't know if they're going to get to Pittsburgh on Friday. Pittsburgh just put 6 people into protocol today.
Oh, so they're not playing. There's no chance.
Well, nobody knows when they're coming back. So they're going to continue to skate yesterday. They skated today. And now we wait to see if there's going to be games. I would be shocked if they played Boston or if Pittsburgh, excuse me.
So what do we want to talk about on Thursday? What do the fans want to listen to, you think?
I have a guest lined up. Well, we can ask for fan questions, but I have a guest lined up.
Okay.
So we haven't discussed if we're doing this live or not, though, Meth. I guess we should probably have this meeting at some other point.
Well, whatever. I'm easy. I got the Ethernet cable running through my room now. We're all set. But no, I'm excited for that, and I hope hopefully we can get some games back going, man. I'm starting to lose my mind. Like these evenings are long.
Well, then we'll take care of that for you. Join us in our next episode. That's the Wally Methot Show. Once again, thanks to all our partners, BEI, Sports Interaction, Gong Show, and of course, Whitewater. Enjoy a couple of those today if you're not doing anything and you want to sit around and just watch the snow melt, if it does. We'll see you next time. Thanks again to Igor Sokolov. That's the Wally Methot Show.
What a brutal ending.